Welcome back, all my free thinkers, to another evening edition of the Grow Rich, Grow Happy Crypto Show. Now, guys, you have to excuse me for this episode as I put on my tin hat. Those of you who've been with me sometime, you know, every now and then I like to go down the rabbit hole. I like to really talk about conspiracy theory when it comes to cryptocurrency and some of these assets. Now, the reason I'm like that, because I do not believe the powers that be want such a large volume of crypto crazies to strike it rich. However, those that follow their gut, do solid research, and can ignore FUD usually do well in crypto. We've seen it in past bull runs. But in this video, I want to talk about XRP, as I want to talk about something that I was paying attention to over on X. You guys know I'm always lurking over there and I'm always looking at things. And then I come away, I'm a curious person by nature. I come away and I always ask the question, now, why did that happen? So in this video, I think I'm going to, at least I hope, this is not financial advice. This is entertainment and education, because I want you guys to really zoom out and think about this and think, why would a larger than life platform do something like this? So we're going to talk about XRP and something that it went on over on X that I believe everyone should pay attention to and ask the question, just like I asked, why did that happen? Guys, this is your first time here to Grow Rich, Grow Happy. I am Mr. Foresight. And guys, I am here for the community. I am here for the people more than the project. I want people to succeed in cryptocurrency. And I believe if you follow certain principles, but mainly control yourself, control your emotions, block out FUD, do research, then you can win. You can make gains. Are you going to become rich overnight? Probably not. But as long as you get more than you put in out of the crypto market, I believe that's a win. And then you can go on to create that financial security. This sounds like a channel for you. We would love to have you here at the Free Thinkers, guys. Do me a favor, smash that like button, give me a sub, hit that bell notification so that you don't miss any of these videos, guys. And share these videos. Definitely share these videos and get you a cold storage wallet, because if I'm right and the major players do not really want you to make life-changing money, then you damn sure need to get it off of these centralized exchanges, because they're going to do everything in their powers to take that opportunity from you. Here on this channel, we use Tangem. Got a 10% discount down below that a lot of people take advantage of, guys. But you have to do more than use that 10%. When you get your Tangem card, put in the effort and move your crypto, guys. So that 10% does go to support the channel. I thank you in advance. And I humbly thank all of you that continue to use that 10%. Okay, guys, now let's talk about XRP. And while talking about XRP, I want you to think about other cryptos out there that may be worth more than you think, but just because they're not being talked about, maybe it's a reason for that. And it's probably because a lot of people don't want you to make a lot of money with these assets. That's why research is important. So I'm going to talk about XRP, because one of the questions I always used to ask myself is, how is all these people going to make all this money with XRP? Now, the government and the powers that be do not want this many people to be rich. How is it? It cannot go to $100. It cannot go to $1,000. But then I started thinking logically, and I know some of you out there thinking in no way XRP is going to reach these prices, but I had to sit back and say, you know, is it possible? You're damn right, it's possible, especially when you look at, there's nothing holding them back. But not only that, look at the connections that are being made. Look at where they are, and we keep talking about this today with where they are on the top 50. And they're in the top 10. Actually, they're in the top 5. So I'm willing to bet that you're going to make some money on them. I'm going to jump over here. I'm going to show you something, though, that sometimes, maybe, just maybe, could we have bigger people at play trying to keep them back? Now, because I noticed that, and I'm saying this because when you look at Bitcoin, Bitcoin is shoved down our throats, to the point that they tell you that maybe you need $1,000 worth of Bitcoin and you're going to become a millionaire here probably in 3-4 years. We've had big people say that. I don't believe that, and I hope you don't either. And I've actually made videos on why I don't think that's possible. But I'm going to show you something that's going on with XRP that I felt like was strange. So I'm gonna jump over here to my X. For those of you that don't follow me on X, you might want to do that at Mr. Foresight 64. If it does not have a blue check mark, it is not me. Okay, I'm gonna jump over here. Reason I'm over here, this guy right here, Edward Farina. Those of you in the XRP army, in the XRP community, you know this guy very well. Alpha Lions Academy. This guy talks, he is walking, breathing XRP, period. He knows everything about XRP. Well, if you look at his following here, he has 171,000 followers. Okay, but why am I talking about him? Because I'm going to jump over here because something happened with him recently. Also, for those of you, I shared this over on my X. I think this is good math. He says, here's a quick, and he shared this as well, common sense crypto. Here's a quick fact to ponder. If you put $1,000 into XRP today, you will most likely end up with at least $10,000 to $50,000 back in this cycle. That's not financial advice, guys. But so take that as entertainment. But listen, if you put that same $1,000 in Bitcoin, you would most likely only end up with $1,300 to $1,500 return on investment. And that's more important. Now, here's a question. More important than the daily price of a cryptocurrency. Now, choose wisely. I believe that as well. Again, a lot of it has to do with how high Bitcoin is, overall market cap, all of that. So you have to invest wisely. But look at this. He did a video recently and it says YouTube approved my appeal, because you have to come down here to actually get the gist of it. Here's what happened. Guess he made a price prediction for XRP, and there's, everyone does price predictions for XRP. You can see them all over YouTube if you type it in, but for some reason he got a strike against him for it in XRP. And I guess he said XRP was going to go to like $10. A lot of people have said that, but he actually got a strike against him for it. And he made a great point here. He says, hello at YouTube, Team YouTube. Why is Michael Saylor allowed to publicly say that Bitcoin is going to 10 million per coin on your platform? But I receive a strike for saying I believe XRP could reach $10 this cycle. What's really happening with YouTube? Now, guys, that is something I think everyone should really ponder. Michael Saylor is able to say that. If you've heard him saying, I've heard him on YouTube saying that Bitcoin was going to go that far. I've heard other major players in the game saying that Bitcoin is going to go that far. Now, if you really want me to put on my conspiracy theory hat, we've already talked about that in a video I made. Clink, I will put it up here for you to see, where there was a article that a gentleman made that I know that he makes great articles, and Jay Razzle. And in that video, if you go back and watch that video, you'll see his article that's pinned in the comments. But check this out. In that video, we was uncovering that possibly the government or someone, three-letter agency, was responsible for Bitcoin. And in that video, I showed you all kind of reasons why that might be the case. On that, there's conspiracy theories that is the case. Well, if that's the case, guys, and I'll just basically tell you this: the government is pretty much all in on Bitcoin. Would they be all in on Bitcoin if they really didn't know who Satoshi was? Makes no sense, right? At all. So he's basically saying, how is it that someone can push, Michael Saylor can push Bitcoin and talk about it so much, and there's no strikes or anything, but when you mention XRP reaching those type of prices, then he get a strike? I think that's worth thinking about when you're thinking about some of the assets you should hold, and say, well, if the government or some of the major powers that be, if they're saying, now we want to protect you from this by giving you a strike and maybe taking your video down, then we need to ask ourselves, why is that? Why? And if you're trying to keep it from us, should we be in it? These are just things, and I'm going to pin this down below because I believe you guys should look at this as well. As he was saying some other things on here the same day that he received that strike, because now he's banned, I guess, for like maybe 7 days over on YouTube, I believe. But he said that same day I was about to release a major investigation into the 80,000 dormant Bitcoin that just moved after 14 years. I talked about that in that video I made as well. Team YouTube hit my channel with a strike. I'm now banned from uploading any videos on their platform. Do you think this just by coincidence? And the reason I'm bringing you this video, guys, is because if you're going to make money in crypto and truly change your family's lives, you got to start really taking some time to yourself and lock in. You're going to have to lock in on crypto, lock in on some of the assets we talk about here, and ask yourself, why are some assets pushed more than others? And I know a lot of you out there that are anti XRP, you're going to say XRP is being pushed by everyone. But if you look at what happened to this guy, Edward Farina, I will say that's not necessarily true. And there's other cryptos that fit this bill. Metallica's blockchain, XPR, and all of theirs. You have to look at that and say, okay, why is it people ignore these blockchains when in these projects when they have receipts? There's receipts all over the place. I've shown you with XPR with FedNow. I've went to FedNow and I've shown you that they are working with them, yet and still you get beat up and attacked when you talk about some of these projects. Or some of these projects, if you're mooning them too much and saying this is going to go to this particular price, and you have reach, because I say the difference between this particular guy that I just shown you, the difference between him making an XRP video saying it's going to $10 and maybe somebody, another YouTuber, maybe me making one, is his reach is further than mine. He dedicates his time to XRP, which can bring in more investors to XRP. These are the questions you need to ask yourself, guys, because when you're looking at assets to invest in, sometimes the ones like a XRP, XPR, Metallicus, a lot of these that you're looking at and you're saying because everybody is not talking about it, I'm not messing with it, or because everybody is talking about it, it must be a rules. It must be something, because why would the government, why would they allow so many people to get rich? I don't know, but I'm looking at it and I'm saying, looking at that guy's post, when I ran across that, I said, oh no, it's more to this. What's the problem here? So that's just one of the reasons why I'm holding on to XRP, and I'm investing in other assets like XPR and those particular tokens, because it's something that ain't right, guys. Something just ain't right. You guys let me know down below. What do you think? What do you think? I'm curious. This is just me on my rabbit hole again. But I just think, guys, it's time to lock in. Choose sides. Choose your assets well. This ain't the time to be playing around with meme coins and different things. It's serious now. Crypto is serious, but your financial futures are more serious. I'm out.